Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ramani and I like to make videos about locks and lifestyle. I want to jump straight into the video. So today we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome. Per usual, I do have timestamps on this video if you want to click through, but of course I want you to watch the entire video because I have some good things to say. So I actually have the definition of imposter syndrome pulled up on my laptop and I'm going to read it for you. Imposter syndrome is defined as a psychological occurrence in which an individual doubts their skills, talents, or accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. So to paraphrase that definition, you don't believe that you truly have these skills or accomplishments or talents, you doubt yourself and you feel like a fraud. This means that in order for you to even experience imposter syndrome, you do in fact have to have some accomplishments, talents, or skills under your belt, which is actually pretty amazing because you could not feel like an imposter if you didn't have a reason to feel like an imposter. You have to actually be pretty important in order to feel like you're a fraud. And that just goes to show you how valuable you really are without even knowing it. I think that as we become older, imposter syndrome becomes a little bit more heightened in our lives. As maybe children or teenagers, you may not be doing a lot, so you're not really thinking about imposter syndrome. But as you get older and as you become an adult and people start buying homes and they're having these corporate jobs or they're starting businesses and you start to see that maybe on social media or just in real life, you start to feel like maybe the things that you're doing do not equate and you feel like you are an imposter. And I always like to bring up social media because I feel like it has a really huge role when it comes to how we feel about ourselves. The people that you're following on social media, you're perceiving them to be these amazing people doing these amazing things. And I actually talked about this in a previous video, which I'll link below, about comparison in social media. But you think that these people are doing such amazing things and then it causes you to doubt what you are doing in your life. Like you can have a really successful business, but you see maybe a more successful business owner on social media and you're like, man, maybe I'm really not doing all that I thought that I was. Do you get what I'm saying? But in that video that I was talking about, I essentially was just saying that social media is a highlight reel. So you never know exactly what somebody has going on, what they're doing, who they're with. You don't really know. You know what they want you to see. So while you're feeling like an imposter because the person that you're watching, you perceive them to be on this higher level, this person is also perceiving someone else to be on a higher level because we all idolize somebody, even if it's not like crazy idolization. Like you still look up to somebody, so that person that you're looking up to is also looking up to another person, and that person that you're looking up to also experiences imposter syndrome. Your favorite celebrity still gets anxious before they go out on stage for a concert and they think, will my audience like this? Your favorite actress still gets nervous when their movie premieres and they're like, is my audience going to like this? Am I really doing a good job? People that you look up to are still also experiencing imposter syndrome. And so that just goes to show you that you shouldn't be feeling imposter syndrome because we're all in our heads. Nobody is going to expose you for being a fraud or not saying who you are because nobody really cares that much. People care about you, but they really care about how they are perceived. So somebody's perception of you doesn't really matter. Validation doesn't matter. Their validation does not matter. And I'm really giving this advice from experience. Everything that I talk about is always from experience. I experience imposter syndrome still, like today I experienced imposter syndrome. But if you've been keeping up with my journey, then you know that I am a newfound yoga teacher. I teach hot yoga, and last week I taught my first hot yoga class. Since I'm new to teaching at this studio, I was so nervous that the students that I'm assuming already go to this studio was gonna know that this was my first class, that I was out of my comfort zone. I was afraid that they were gonna know that I was out of my comfort zone. And in my head, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a yoga teacher. And then I was like, girl, like stop that, because y'all know I cannot do the negative self-talk. So I had to like calm that down real quick. But I was still very nervous to teach that class, even though I did my affirmations and I tried to make myself feel good. I was so nervous to teach that class, and I ended up doing so well that I had people literally like, when are you teaching again? Like, we have to come. Because I'm not new to instruction, because I'm a personal trainer. Y'all know I plug my business in every video. Everything's gonna be in the description box about my business. But I'm not new to instruction, but I'm new to instructing people to do yoga. And a lot of people think that yoga is some easy thing. Like, no, you have to remember so much in order to instruct people, and there are so many different forms and variations of yoga. Like, it was a lot for me to handle, and I was just nervous that people, I didn't know how they were going to perceive me. But like I said, everybody ended up liking the class, and at the end I was like, I thank you all for supporting me through this class, because this is actually my first time teaching yoga. And everybody was like, what? Like, no, this is not your first time teaching yoga. I'm like, yes, this was my very first time. And then that showed me that because I asserted myself as the instructor, people already put me on the pedestal as the instructor. So they're not looking for ways to tear me down, because I was already who I said I was. So while I was trying to make sure that they weren't perceiving me in a negative light, they were trying to keep up with me and what I was teaching. And so I actually was not an imposter. I was exactly who I said I was, and I felt so validated in that moment. So like, this is very much easier said than done, but stop worrying about how you're perceived and start worrying, or not even worrying, start focusing on if you're showing up as the person who you said that you are, or the person that you said that you want to be. If you consider yourself a business owner, are you showing up every day as that person who cares about their business, and are you serving your customers in the community? If you claim to be a YouTuber or a podcaster, are you recording yourself, and are you putting yourself out there and really providing value? That's what matters. As long as you show up as the person that you said that you are, then you're that person, and nobody can take that away from you but you. Only you can determine who you are. Nobody else can do that. That was all for this video. I truly thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Share it with a friend who needs it. I will leave everything in the description box about my business, my personal training business and yoga and all of that. And I will see you guys in my next video.